How's it going today, everyone? So we had a good day in the market today, and we have quantum as a theme in 2025 and late 2024 that seems to be picking up speed. And we've seen a lot of sell-off in the market in the past couple of months, but quantum stocks seem to be doing quite well in the past 3 trading days. And there's lots of stocks that are at key technical points that I want to talk about. So whether you're day trading, momentum trading, or you're a long-term investor, I think there's going to be a lot of good information in this video for you. We're going to cover a recent Cleo Abram video where I'm just going to show you the clip because it's really cool. I was watching it last night and was surprised related to quantum computing. Something came up between black holes and quantum computers. We're going to talk about a company called QUBT. We're going to call the ticker symbol is QUBT Quantum Computing Inc. We're going to talk about SkyWater, and we're going to talk about D-Wave QBTS. So we have a lot to cover. We're going to start with this clip. Okay, so I definitely recommend going over to Cleo Abram's YouTube page and watching this whole video, but they're basically discussing what happens when you fall into a black hole. Like what would happen, your perception of time, and what happens to physics inside of a black hole. And she brought Brian Cox onto the show, and this is very late into the video, and I was really surprised to hear this, but I wanted to share it with y'all. If you haven't seen it already, let's take a listen.
One description of our perspective is, we go to the singularity, we get all scrambled up, and then it looks like the interior of the black hole is in some sense the same place as the exterior. You could almost picture wormholes opening up from the interior of the black hole to the exterior, and very naively you imagine our bits of information going through the wormholes and coming out again. We end up outside. The information ends up outside in the Hawking radiation. Even as I say this, there are papers being written saying different things. It's really cutting edge stuff.
Different things like, well, maybe you never go in. Maybe there actually is no in of a black hole. Or maybe everything is just information with no real place at all. And now my brain is breaking.
It does look like that there is a description of the universe that looks like a giant quantum computer, which does not imply that someone built it, right? It doesn't imply that we're in a simulation, but it does suggest that there's a good description of reality that you can write down in the form of some kind of network of entangled qubits, something like that. And I think it's fair to say that the jury is still out on these issues. But what the thing to emphasize.
So pretty cool. We're the scientists are trying to figure out all of these deep mysteries of the universe, and even these conversations that have nothing to do with quantum or quantum computers are creeping their way into mainstream discussions and about just trying to explain some of these complicated scientific problems that we're trying to solve. So we got a lot in this episode. Let's jump into our company coverage and price analysis. Okay, everyone. So I have the extended hours chart pulled up here because I want to look at our quantum watch list and see what's happening after market so we can get an idea. Of course, this can always change with news, and there's no guarantee that this is going to continue this rally, but we can see that there's definitely some momentum in the market, and there's definitely some momentum with quantum. So we can see that Google has had a great earnings, and post-market, they're up 4.7%. Now, the thing with a company like Google, who Google has the Willow quantum chip and they're investing in quantum computers, they have so many pillars of their company. And these companies tend to, when they report really great earnings like this, they tend to bring up the whole market, whether it's quantum or any other stock. So Google with a 4.6% move, ARQQ's up, Amazon's up, QUBT, which we're going to cover for the first time on this channel in more depth. IonQ, I have a whole video specifically, the previous video on my channel. If you want to learn about the IonQ rally, they just broke a 2-month critical price point today. One that they've been under since literally months. They broke out above that. So incredibly bullish setup for IonQ. QBTS, we're coming up on earnings. We're going to talk about QBTS and SkyWater. Let's see how SkyWater moving after market. We're covering SkyWater today, a little bit of sell-off after market, but it had a nice move in the market today. So if we look at the actual moves today for the stocks we're covering, so we're going to look at SkyWater, QUBT. So QUBT had a 9% move today. SkyWater, a 6.4% move. And QBTS is down here a little bit, but not a slouch at 3% with some aftermarket movement as well. So QUBT, my friends, my investor friends, they say, what is this company? What, like, you know what? I am not an expert on quantum computers. I've said it on this channel many times before. I'm an enthusiastic investor. I love talking about this stuff, learning about this stuff. I don't know that much about this company. And I want to be 100% forthright. What I have observed in the last few months is their stock price has stayed relatively stable, even compared to some quantum companies that I know much more about. So that has intrigued me. So I looked at some of their recent news that they posted on their site, and Quantum Computing Inc. secures a sale of a reservoir computer to a major automotive manufacturer. So QCI's EmuCore reservoir quantum computing device can be applied to solve a variety of problems related to serial data structures, including time series prediction and image recognition in a fast, affordable, and energy efficient manner. Interesting. They have some other news about retirement of a CEO, quantum photonic vibrometer order with Delft University technology. And let's look at their products. So quantum machines for a brighter future. We are pioneering the production of accessible, affordable photonic hardware solutions using nonlinear quantum optics, enabling innovative solutions in the field of quantum computing. Let's take a look at, so QCI built a first of its kind foundry devoted to processing thin film lithium niobate, TFLN, and other transition metal ferroelectronics in Tempe, Arizona. So this is a US based company. What we make. The foundry offers both front and back end capabilities for photonic integrated circuits, including packaging for the 150 millimeter wafer line, passive devices, linear devices, and nonlinear devices. So this is above my head, technically. I'm going to just say that right now. Let's look at the stock chart so we can kind of take, maybe get some... I just pulled up IonQ here real quick in case you missed my other video. Basically, why I'm excited about the move for IonQ today is we have seen literally since February, 2 months, we have not seen a break above this $28 point. And it's rejected, and we blasted past it today. So it's incredibly bullish setup. And if we go to the day chart, what we can imagine happening from here, let's look at 5 days. And our next kind of level that I drew in the video, we could see it doing something kind of like, maybe something like this. If If we go out even further and we look, there's a lot of upside potential now that we're kind of out of that $28 price point. So I'm calling a bullish setup for IonQ. Do your own research on your entries and exits for stocks. Let's take a look at the chart for QUBT and why I'm interested in the company, why I have a position in the company, even though I don't know a ton about them. So QUBT actually has hit $27 and has found a major level of support and buyers in this channel down here. So let's look at the bottom of this channel and let's kind of look at the top, which is about 10. Okay. So are we bullish from a technical standpoint? I don't think we're at that point yet where we can say, yes, QUBT is bullish. It's going to go on a run and get to its all-time highs. It's going to need to, we see that actually, if we look at the move, it had a very violent sell-off, down 82% at its low at $4. And now it's sitting at this $7 range, so right in the middle of its channel. And there is some potential headwinds ahead. So this $9 level, this $8 level. Let's draw another line here. So we could see QUBT, if we continue favorable market conditions, we could see it reject and go down, stay in this channel. We could see it come up and hit its head and maybe recover. It all depends on the macroeconomics in the news, right? Like we don't know. There was obviously a lot of, at this point in time, a lot of enthusiasm and hysteria around the quantum theme. And now the quantum theme seems that tech in general, after the 25% sell-off in the market, now that tech in general is recovering, we could see something. But technically, from a technical standpoint, I still think we're range bound. We're in this channel. It's going to need to get above 1077 to be truly a breakout from a technical standpoint. Okay, let's take a look at SkyWater. So SkyWater is going to announce their first quarter financial results on May 7th. In a previous video that I covered SkyWater and I reviewed their financials, I actually had the wrong ticker pulled up. So to make it up to SkyWater and anyone who's actually interested in their financials, I pulled it up in this video. We're going to take a look at their actual financials, take a look at the chart. So for those of you who don't know what's SkyWater's connection to quantum, SkyWater fabricates chips for D-Wave. D-Wave is one of my favorite quantum companies. Just got back from their conference. So we do have SkyWater. I am triple verifying that it is in fact SkyWater that we are looking at here. From a technical standpoint, from just a financial standpoint, we've seen steady revenue growth and then some recent fall off. We've seen net income in 2022, it dipped to negative 27 million, but now we're stabilized. Let's see, scroll down too fast there. Operating income seems to be improving. Free cash flow seems to be improving. Operating cash flow seems to be improving. Assets and liabilities are split here. So slightly more assets than liabilities, which is good. I don't know if they've recently done something with their debt situation or if this is wrong, but it looks like they have carried a lot of debt since 2020. So I would need to do further research to know if this chart is actually, so you can't always trust everything you see on these websites. You got to dig in order to find answers. So let's look at stock analysis. So we have analyst coverage rating SkyWater as a strong buy. The average analyst rating is strong buy. There's not that many analysts ratings. Revenue growth from FY20, 2%, then 15%, then 30, then 34. And then FY25, we're seeing maybe potentially some decline. We don't fully know why, but the forecast has increasing revenue, and so this does look like a company that has a strong growth prospect, a strong growth story. Let's look at some financials on TradingView. So they had in Q2 24, they had a surprise, 118% surprise from the estimate. They had a 600% surprise in Q3 24. And it is my understanding that for Q1 25, they've guided for less, which is why the stock has gone down. So what is, let's look at the lifetime of SkyWater. And we can see it was trading at 35 after its IPO in 21. And since then, it's sold off. It's gone all the way down to $4. It's climbed all the way back to 20. And it seems to be a bit cyclical. In our current environment, SkyWater is a chip fabricator that is based onshore in the US, and we're moving to maybe more US centric manufacturing. As recently as December 24, the wick, as you can see here, touched $19. So maybe some stock manipulation, maybe some this wasn't too close to earnings, so I'm not sure exactly what the catalyst was there. Again, I'm pretty new to this company, and I'm providing information. So I want to point out something that just because I cover a stock, I'm not saying go and buy a stock. I personally have opened a position in this company because of the connection to D-Wave, but you must do your own research and have your own convictions in any stock that you buy, because that's going to allow you to get through the hard times, and that's going to allow you to have a better understanding of your own conviction behind the reason you're buying a stock. Now, with that disclaimer, are we in, from a technical standpoint, a bullish setup? If you look at the last 5 days, it would seem that there has been a very strong move to the upside. But we must look to the left, and we must look at the bigger picture. And really, we are at a key resistance level here. So we're going to draw a horizontal line here, and we can see that it's rejected and fallen under, rejected, 6 times. Okay. So it has to break through this level, and then it's got some more resistance here. Lots of selling pressure will come in there. And we're going to look at this next level. So if macro continues to improve, maybe SkyWater could be on the brink of a reversal. So if you're trading this, I would look at that 729. If there's a clean break through 729, your next big area of resistance would be this 853. Could it reject and just move down again and move down to support? That's always possible as well. We'll keep an eye on it. SkyWater is super interesting, and I'm interested in the fact that it's an onshore manufacturer. That is seems like a bullish setup in our current macro, where there's a lot of tariff talk all the time. All right, so finally today we're going to cover D-Wave, QBTS, and recently on my website, QBTS was earned rank number 1. So if you head over to thequantumbull.com and you click on invest, every month or so, I rank the top 8 quantum stocks. Right now, D-Wave is number 1 on my list, with Google as number 2. IonQ is number 3. Rigetti is number 4. IBM, Microsoft, Amazon, and LAES. So from a price perspective, what are we looking at? So we know that of all the quantum stocks, that D-Wave has actually moved above its quantum frenzy price. So we talk about the quantum crash all the time, but this whole period really, it was a frenzy. It was a buying frenzy in a bull market. So with their quantum supremacy announcement here, and their when their stock was halted and they provided increased forward guidance, investors loved it. The stock shot up to $12, and then it sold off in extremely challenging macro conditions. So this chart isn't necessarily a reflection of QBTS, but is more of a reflection of the general pressures on tech and the wider market. So when we're looking at some of these stocks that are starting to recover, we saw a big move from QBTS yesterday. We see it's moving in aftermarket today. We see that it's already, if we want to, it's seated here at this 756, which has been an area where, let's actually go up a little higher, 778. So 778, we can see it's rejected off of at least 3 times in the recent past. So we're going to need to see it move through 778. There's not blue skies ahead yet. It's still got to break through 930. And then for it to actually get into the nosebleed territory relative to its current stock price, it's going to need to break through 10 and 11 as well. And this is going to be largely influenced by macro. So we could see something like this. Let's go over to aftermarket and see exactly where it's trading at right now. So it's trading at 742 aftermarket. So we're about here. So assuming that sentiment stays positive, Google earnings should have some good momentum for the market. We're going to want to watch that 778 level for rejections that could bounce and then do something like that in the most bullish case. In a bear case, we would be looking at something more like this, a rejection and then a move down, and a rejection further down. And that's also quite possible because we have been in a very challenging macro. Okay, so that is everything I have for you guys today. I'm just going to ask for one thing. I'm a tiny channel and I'm trying to add a ton of value to this quantum conversation. If I have earned it, please consider leaving a like, and we'll see you in the next one.